Hey guys. I know we haven't spoken in a while. It's been a lot of life changes, a lot of things going on, a lot of transitions and new phases, new spaces, new places. Pretty soon we'll get into all of that and kind of let you know where I'm at and what things have changed. We haven't strayed from the purpose at all. Every day we're still firmly rooted in pursuing our deepest goals, our purest passions, and self-expressing in the most boundless and beautiful way that we possibly can. I want to tell y'all a story about this experience I had at work a couple of days ago and why it's so important to be very intentional with how you speak to people, how you interact with people, and just the overall demeanor that you bring to the world, no matter how you're feeling on the inside, what you portray and what you exude. So in my day-to-day, outside of music, outside of art, outside of YouTube, and everything I'm doing in the creative space, I'm a manager at a bank, okay? A customer came into our location a couple days ago, and she looked kind of normal, but she kind of looked disheveled. She looked a little bit uneasy, but still in very, very good spirits. So, as I naturally would, I walked up to her and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she gave me a little look, and then she responded, "I'm doing well. How are you?" "I'm cool, man. Can't complain. The sun is up. The sun is shining. It's beautiful. I'm beautiful. I have no complaints." She told me she was very exhausted, and I asked her why. And she said that she had stage 4 cancer and that she had just made a decision to not return to chemotherapy, that she was gonna stick it out and let the chips fall where they may. I didn't really know how to respond. I took my time and told her I was sorry to hear it. I offered her a drink, offered her a coffee, right? Told her I'm a tea guy myself, but if you want some tea, some coffee, it's on me, I'll take care of it. And she got emotional. I wasn't sure why until later on in the conversation. I'll let you know why. She asked me what my name was, and I told her my name was Curtis, and she told me her name. As we're waiting for her drink, we just kind of have a small talk, little conversation, and for some reason the conversation doesn't end. Typically with a very brief interaction like that, you know, it was cool, but you move on, you keep doing your thing. For some reason, she gets her drink, and now we end up sitting down at the table and just talking. And we get into all types of things about life and my upbringing and her upbringing and things she had been through, things she had seen and experienced and persevered through and overcome. And she told me this story that blew my mind. First, she told me that she was first diagnosed with cancer when she was 14 years old. And when she was 14, they told her, "You got 6 months to live." She's 37 now. Amazing story in and of itself, right? But it gets crazier. She told me about a time where she actually was thinking about ending it all. She actually made her decision and she chose this bridge, and she was gonna jump off of a bridge because she was fed up with life, fed up with the troubles, fed up with the trials, and just fed up with everything that she was faced with, seemingly without any support or any help from her own family and the people that were supposed to love her. So she gave me a play-by-play, and she talked about how she decided this day in her past she was gonna jump off of that bridge. And she said, if I don't see anybody on my way to this bridge that smiles at me, that gives me a kind word, or even acknowledges my existence, I'm gonna jump off this bridge and give up completely. So she talks about how she's walking down this long road, and she's passing people by and nobody notices her. Nobody says anything. Not noticing the distress on her face and the anguish and the despondence and the numbness and the pain all in one. She keeps walking, past another family, nothing. Past a girl, nothing. Past a boy, nothing. Past a woman, nothing. Past a man, nothing. And after a while, she can see the bridge in her sights. Every step she takes, she gets a little bit closer to this bridge that she was gonna jump off of. And she feels it. She feels a rush. She knows it's coming. This is it. The pain is over. No more. She gets a few steps away from the bridge, and she comes across a mother and a child, 10-year-old boy. Before she could step onto that bridge, the 10-year-old boy smiled, and he asked her how her day was going. And she stopped. She paused, and she mentioned that she had some money in her pocket. Wasn't sure what she was gonna do with it. It was just gonna go with her, I guess. And she turned around and she gave the boy the money. And she said, "You don't know what you just did, but you just saved my life today." She got off the bridge. She came down and she started to cry. And the boy's mother started to cry as well. And what happened was, the boy's mom said, We haven't eaten all day. I've been walking around town trying to find somewhere to feed my son, and he hasn't eaten since this morning, and it's 4 p.m. now. And she said, you saved a life today too. So now I'm sitting at this table super amazed, and I'm listening to this woman talk about how she was gonna give up on everything. And just when things seemed bleak, God sent a sign. Somebody, something, whatever you believe in, sent her a sign and says, you can do this, you can keep going. I know it's hard, I know it's tough, but you matter to somebody. That 10-year-old little boy who hadn't eaten all day, he was starving. He was lost. His mind was lost, scared, afraid, uncertain of the future or what the night or the day held. And he saved a life. And in turn, the woman I sat with saved a life. Life couldn't be more serendipitous and beautiful than that. So we continue talking. She starts talking about her family and how she had a husband that she loved so dearly and he passed away. When he passed away, she got deep into drugs and she couldn't find any hope or any freedom from these addictions. And how her mom betrayed her, and her mom was supposed to be the one that loved her, but she never looked out for her. She pretty much told her she wasn't worth anything. And the woman started to internalize it. And I asked her a question. I said, everything you just told me is incredibly amazing because you're here right now. And I said, I've been through some crazy things. I've been homeless, right? Sleeping on hotel floors, squatting in empty apartments. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to be lost, to be poor, to wish you had more or be hungry or starve. I know what it's like when your stomach is touching your ribs and you feel like the people that are supposed to love you don't really care. A lot of people share your last name but ain't really family. Yeah, I said, I know what it's like. But everything you just talked about is a story I can't relate to. How? Tell me, I have to know, how are you here right now? I have to know, because there are days when I get weak and I always find some way to take one more step. But I fear for the day that I don't know how to take that step. And to hear you speak right now, all of that's out the window. How are you here right now? I can take a step. How are you here? Please explain to me. She said, my kids are my everything. She said, they're my reason for being. They keep me going, even when things get tough. I don't know how much longer I'll be here, but my kids mean everything to me. And I said, you sound like my mom. My mom's the same way. And so we ended up talking for about 2 hours, man. We sat down, we talked, we laughed. She played me some music that she did a song with her brother some years ago about pain and loss and love and redemption. And she played me a couple songs. She's singing along and she's so happy. And she keeps saying, I'm not used to talking to people in public. I'm real closed off and I usually don't feel comfortable opening up to people. And she said, I just told you all of these personal things and my deepest, darkest secrets and pains and traumas. She said, something about you, your spirit and the way you approached me made me feel comfortable. And I'm so glad that I came here today. She said, I never come in this location. This is only my second time even coming to this area of town. But something told me to stop in here today. And she said, I'm glad I did. So we finished our conversation. A couple of hours go by and she gets up to leave. And I told her, please come see us again. She said, I promise you I will. This won't be my last time coming in. I'm gonna be here all the time as often as I can because you were amazing today. And before she left, she said, remember that story I told you about with the 10-year-old boy who saved my life? I said, yeah. I said, it was an incredible story and I'm blessed to be even hearing it right now. I'm blessed that I got to hear you talk about it and explain it to me. This supernatural experience that you had, I'm blessed to even be able to take part in it right now. And she said, that was the first time somebody's ever saved my life before. And she said, today is the second. Thank you. Every day, you have to walk in your purpose. You have to give all of you to your purpose. You have to empty yourself. When I was around 10 years old, I knew my purpose was to lead, to inspire, and to help people believe in magic and believe in their own light. I didn't know what this woman was going through. I didn't know what kind of story she had to tell. I didn't know the kind of pain she had been through. Vice versa, she didn't know my story. But we talked. And all I did was ask her how her day was going. I didn't plan on us having a 2-hour conversation. I didn't plan on me changing her life or saving her life. I just asked her, how is your day going? And she lit up. We don't always know when it's going to be time for our purpose to manifest or express itself. We don't. But we have to be very intentional with everything we do in life because every day should be another manifestation of that purpose. Now, what if I had been having a tough day? which a lot of days I have, right? Tough. Mentally, I'm tormented, I'm fighting through pain and past traumas, trying to overcome things, trying to live up to a certain standard as a man, as a beacon of hope for my community back home, my hometown, you know? I feel like I'm behind schedule. But what if I let that spill over into my expression to other people? What if I would have went up to that lady and gave her some negative words, right? Or not been so kind or patient, or not been able to take the time to listen and hear her out? Maybe she's not here right now. And I don't say that to say I saved her life, or I take the credit for her being here. No, not at all. I did my part. And I think that's what life is about. Do your part, you know, find out why you're here, take the time, try new things, discover things, experience things, and dive into it. When you find out why you're here, everything else starts to make sense. Life is never gonna be easy, it's never gonna be perfect, it's never gonna be without trouble and struggle. But it can always be fulfilling, it can always be purposeful, it can always be impactful. And the magnitude of your impact is not what's important. The fact that the impact exists is important. Maybe I haven't affected millions yet, like I know I'm capable of, and like I know I will, because I was built for it. I was put here to do that, right? Maybe I haven't affected millions yet, but one by one, those little interactions remind me that it's always worth it. I feel very grateful and I feel very blessed today because I had that experience, and I didn't know going into work that was gonna happen, but sometimes God uses you when you least expect it. So I say if you go into this world and you're being your best self and you're spreading light and spreading love to the world, I think things start to work out and things will ultimately start to make sense. That's all I got for you, man. I love you all, and Godspeed.